What's up, home dogs? I forgot my mic. Dang it! How's that sound? Better? Probably sounds tons better. Alright, so from the title, you see we are comparing the Sony a6300 to the Sony a7 III, which I'm filming on right now. So, which one's better? Which one should you get starting off? Let's find out right after the intro. So, basically going over the Sony a7 III and the Sony a6300. Both are amazing cameras, obviously made from Sony. However, there are some differences. Big differences. Starting off, Sony a7 III is a full frame camera. Sony a6300 is an APS-C camera. So these are basically referring to the sensors. If you don't understand, basically full frame is the big boy that gives you, better pixels, better dynamic range stops, stops of dynamic range. The APS-C is basically the step down from the full frame, but it also provides you with amazing stops of dynamic range and pixels. However, the full frame wins with the sensor, obviously. Some of y'all are asking the dynamic range. So, the dynamic range is basically the quality that is able to be obtained in the highs and the lows. So if something's really bright and something's really dark, the more stops of dynamic range you have, the more quality you'll catch in those two spots. Alright, so the a6300 has got 12.7 stops, which is not bad whatsoever. Alright, it's amazing. However, the Sony a7 III has got 15. Now remember, while we're going through this, obviously the Sony a7 III is the better camera.6However, we'll have to get to the prices. When we get to the prices, it might change your mind. If you're a filmmaker, if you're going for pictures, this doesn't, it kind of matters when you start shooting in low frames. However, the difference maker for me, because I'm a filmmaker, the Sony a7 III has got built-in IBS, which is in-body stabilization. Alright, Sony a6300 doesn't have any in-body. So basically, that means it'll take away those micro jitters whenever you're filming, because there's times where you want that shake, but there's also times where you want it to be smooth. And if you want the option for it to be smooth, I think you should have that option, you know what I mean? So basically, Sony a7 III can take away those micro jitters. Sony a6300 cannot, unless you get a lens with OSS, optical steady shot. It'll help. All right, next. So whenever I film, I usually use manual focus. That's just how I like to film. But if there's anyone out there that likes to use autofocus for vlogging, or for you just like autofocus, Sony a6300 has 425 autofocus points. So that basically means on this LCD screen and in the lens, or in the sensor, there are 425 spots where it can focus. All right, so that's a lot. However, the Sony a7 III has got 693 autofocus points. So again, that doesn't affect me too much because I like to use manual focus. However, for beginners or people that just like to use autofocus, because it doesn't always mean beginners, autofocus is a very handy thing. So if you like using autofocus, Sony a7 III still has more, but the Sony a6300 is not bad whatsoever. Next, this is a biggie, a big one, all right? The battery life. I don't know if any video you will watch talking about the Sony a6300 compared to the Sony a7 III will tell you the same exact thing. This battery life sucks. When I'm shooting at 4K, this lasts me no longer than an hour. And if I get to an hour, that is crazy. Sony a7 III, this one battery has literally lasted me 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. And obviously I wasn't sit there filming for 4 hours straight, but I was doing a job and it lasted me for 4 hours of me picking where I want to shoot, obviously. So the battery life on the Sony a7 III is 110 times better. When it comes to price, this is where the difference is, all right? And in just a minute, I promise you, me and Jacob are gonna go out, we're gonna show you, we're gonna do some tests with both of them so you can see, you can compare the image quality and what they look like. the price is different. If you are a beginner who's getting their first camera, or you've already had your first camera and you want your next camera, depending on what that first camera was, I would suggest the Sony a6300, because this was the second camera I ever had, and I have done so many jobs with it, and it works amazing. All right, when you have the batteries, it works amazing. For the kit lens and the body itself will cost you about $900. All right. Sony a7 III, obviously being the better choice, might be different depending on price. The price of the Sony a7 III, just the body without a lens, so not even being able to use it, just the body, is about $1,800. All right, $1,800 is a lot for someone beginning. I know that, but a good refresher, this, with still having only 3 less stops of dynamic range, it's still being a very good competitor, besides the battery life, but it's a very good competitor. It is $1,000 cheaper for this and a lens, the kit lens. All right, so if you were beginning, I would honestly say I would go with the Sony a6300 for beginners. Now, if you have already been filming for some years and you want to move up, Sony a7 III is obviously the way to go, because it just provides you with more of the professional type filming for whatever you may be doing. All right, so we're gonna go outside, me and Jacob, and we're gonna test this stuff out, and you can see how you like it. All right, and big time compare the quality and the price. All right, so if you're looking at the Sony a7 III and the a6300, and you're saying, the a7 III is a little bit better, if you're saying it's a little bit better, but it's $1,000 more expensive, you know what I'm saying? So let's go outside. Here we go. All right, so we decided to come out to this little road outside of our house. All right, guys, so we are out here. Found a road that we're gonna take pictures on for my next video. So get ready for my next video. It's gonna be making your pictures a lot more professional. This is what it looks like if I were to be vlogging with the a7 III. Jacob, tell me, what does yours look like?
This looks like this.
This is the a7 III. Jacob's got the a6300. So now we're gonna go into some autofocus point checking. Here we go. We're checking the autofocus, all right? We have the Sony a7 III, Sony a6300, all right? Let's test it out. Focused. Let's try it one more time. So in here, then I already come up. I already be talking to the camera, all right? That's how it works. Now we're gonna go on to the picture quality. All right, let's get to the pictures. Alright guys, so that was the test. The pictures, obviously a7 III pulled out a little bit better just because it's a full frame camera, alright? But again, remember, just for the base, $1,800, for the Sony a6300 with the kit lens is only $900, alright? So, when you put the prices into it, I'd go with the Sony a6300 if it is your first camera, or your second, maybe your third, alright? But once you start getting to that professional type, you start trying to make business out of it, and you start, or you're just getting more professional with it, a7 III is the way to go. All right, all in all, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, do whatever it takes to come back and see some more of these revivals, these creative revivals. Remember to put in the comments anything you'd want to see.
Fantastic, you're loved.
All right, so it only takes one to come out and do something new with old pals. It only takes one to find something creative to do during this time where we are basically told to do nothing. It only takes one to make a change, and it only takes one to change the world. And who could that be? You! It could be you. See you next time.